Alright, today I'm going to show you how to fix and repair almost anything on the Wii U controller. We're going to start off by taking out the battery. It's underneath two Phillips head screws underneath the back battery door. Take that off and then just unplug the battery from the main controller. They do sell bigger batteries. I'll link those in the video description below. Gives you a whole lot more play time, so you can check those out. And then there's a bunch of little black plastic tabs covering all the screw holes right here. And underneath all these little tabs is a screw that's called a tri-wing. So you can take that and unscrew all the little screws, and then the back plastic bit just pops right up. There is a little plug holding the back plastic part to the main board, and so you're just going to grab that and unplug it. Pretty straightforward. And then you can see that all the little buttons, so we got the triggers right here that just pop up and out. Same thing with this other side. They're just kind of stuck down in a little clasp. You just have to wiggle free. And same thing with these top buttons. The left and the right just slide down in little grooves. And then right here, this is the little contraption that controls the majority of the buttons. So there's a bunch of screws holding that in place. Then you can see there's a little ribbon cable that you have to lift up the latch and unlatch it. And so if your buttons stop working, most likely you'll need to replace this guy right here, or just the ribbon cables, depending on what they're selling. Now the little stick that you're gonna be playing with, these break a lot, and so the whole pad comes up with the circuit board and just plugs into the main board that you can see right here. So if it ever stops working, or if it gets stuck or broken, just buy the little contraption and plug that in and you'll be good to go. Now the bottom sync button as well as the port is plugged into the main board, as well as has that little ribbon cable connector. So I'm going to unplug both of those things and then wiggle it free from the little white bracket that it's in. It's got the little hooks on the side there. And now that's free. And there's 4 screws holding on the main board to the controller. So once those are done, you have a few more power cable connections and ribbon cable connections to undo. Lift up the little clasp, pull the ribbon cable out, lift up the other clasp, pull that ribbon cable out. It's all kinds of fun. And then I'm going to take apart the other side button control panel, I guess you can call that, just so I have more room to work with. You don't necessarily need to do this if you're just getting in to replace the screen or something. And then just unplug that other joystick. Get rid of a few more little tiny connections, and this one's pretty important. So lift up at 2 points on that little latch so you don't break it. If you lift up at 1 point, it might be too much pressure and it might snap it. Anyway, keep on working with all the little connections that are attaching the main board to the controller. Gonna pull those loose. Just working my way around the outside. And now that releases most of the things attached to the main board. There's 2 sensors that are still attached up at the top, but you need to lift up the main board in order to get to them. Now remember the orientation of the wire as you lift this out. So right now the wire is facing in towards the board. And then on this other side, the white wire, it's still facing the inside of the board as well. So untangle that and then lift it up from the slot. You can see right here I take apart the volume slider switch. Remember that when you put that into the motherboard, it has to fit on the groove of the little slider as well. Otherwise your volume will stop working. And there's the main board. You can see right there the camera as well on the back side. And then right here you can see the little pad. So if you ever need to take that apart to clean it, there's a little notch in the corner there that aligns where it needs to be. And now for the screen bracket. So there's 4 Phillips head screws around the outside of this that you're going to unscrew. and the plastic screen bracket just keeps the screen in place. So once those screws are undone, that'll come loose and you'll be able to pry up the screen. Be super careful while you're doing this and only pry up on the metal frame of it. And don't pull up on the screen in any way that'll break the LCD underneath. Now when you're replacing the screen, it could be one of two things. They might come with the digitizer, which is the outer part, or it might just come with the LCD underneath. So you might need to separate that little contraption in order to finish the repair. But it's not too bad. There's just little clasps that hold the two sections together. Now the buttons are kind of fun. Remember that game you used to play as a kid where like the plastic square wouldn't fit in the circle hole and the circle wouldn't fit in the square hole? This is kind of the same thing. Each of these little buttons has its own little notch. So one button won't fit in the other button's hole, if that makes sense. It's kind of fun. Interesting way to keep all the buttons in the right spot. Anyway, if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like if this video helped you, and don't forget to subscribe. It really does mean a lot. I hope to see you around. Thank you for watching.